Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're doing a recap and review of Love Island Season 2 Episode 8. So we are back on set in Las Vegas, and of course the previous night we lost two of our first time members, which was James, and of course that was very sad to see him go, but he was not voted to stay on the island. And then we also lost Jeremiah. But we did receive somebody new by the name of Lauren. And Lauren is from Oxford, England, from the UK. She was saying that she find Johnny attractive and was looking to be a power couple with him, but we'll see. So we're going to talk about the whole thing first with Carrington and Kirsten. Pretty much she wanted to see where his head was and what he thought about Lauren. And, pretty much what I'm noticing about tonight's episode is that the guys say one thing to the girls, but when they actually talk to Lauren and the boys or the other guys, they tell a whole different story. So, he's telling her, nothing's changed. I'm attracted to her, but, I'm not that invested. I'm with you. You don't have nothing to worry about. And, honestly, the conversation away from her was totally opposite. So, you guys tell me what you think about today's episode, because I saw a lot of that with a lot of these people that are currently coupled up and then, of course, feeling some kind of way about Lauren. So there was some conversation with Lauren that Carrington had. And, Carrington's turned around and said to her, you attract me the most. And it's like, but you just told Kirsten something. Okay, whatever. And, Lauren is like, I'm still trying to figure you out, but I am interested in you. But I haven't figured you out yet. And then he says, you know what? I'm open to talk to you. Nobody's here is really tied down to the person that they're coupled with. And, hey, I'm open. And, she's looking like, okay, well, we'll see if you're going to be one of the ones that I am going to date, because obviously she has an interest, but she realizes that she's in the catbird seat with all of these guys because all of them are feeling her. And so basically she has the pick of the litter. So, Kirsten, of course, she's worried. I know the girls are telling her not to be. Oh, you're fine. You don't have to be worried. And like she told, them, it's like, I think Cely said, you know what, don't worry about it. You'll be fine and everything. And you guys are going to be great. And she said, until you're not. And hey, that's the truth. I mean, you could be all in one moment and out the next. So, and she knows that. And this girl, I mean, obviously she's very attractive. She definitely has beautiful physical characteristics. She has this accent. So, of course, these guys are intrigued. But what's going to come down, is it just the looks, or does this girl, Lauren, has what it takes to be the couple that, in this case, we're talking about Carrington, really needs to be? Is this somebody that you feel that, or he feels that she can replace what he has with Kirsten? Now, he's saying no, and that she shouldn't feel funny about any of this. But, he goes into this whole sentimental thing, about all of this, about, him, goodbyes are not being good, and, him being a military, family and things like that. And that's cool. I get that. But at the same time, I can understand why Kirsten feels uneasy, and she said it's not a good feeling. It's just not. And, I think the girls get so vested in, and then the guys are vested in for the moment until somebody new comes up the stairs. I mean, that's just how the game is played. I don't know. I haven't watched the UK version. I only watched the first season USA last year, and it's been pretty much the same. Somebody gets all in, and then the next person comes up the steps and they knock you off your spot. So, of course, Kirsten is concerned, and he's telling her one thing, but he's so attracted to Lauren, So, I mean, he was honest and a little open to her, but, it's just going to be interesting to see the direction where this goes, because as we get to the end of the episode, which I'll touch on later, Lauren is making decisions on some things besides who America has voted for. So, Kirsten, you got to keep your chin up, girl. I mean, if something changes between you and Carrington, and so be it, you'll find that guy. He's obviously not that one for you. But I mean, don't go, as you say, losing your mind. You're about to implode in your head. And I mean, he's telling you nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, but he's willing to get to know her. So I can see why Kirsten is feeling some kind of way, and then you telling Johnny, hey, I'm attracted to her, and Johnny is like, hey, you need to listen to yourself, listen to yourself. Yeah, but at the same time, he also need to figure out how he's going to do this, because you telling Kirsten one thing and then you're telling Lauren something else. So it's going to be interesting. Now, I do agree with Johnny when he said, you got to figure this out and listen to who you feel is going to be the good fit for you. But you can't be telling two different sides of the story. It's going to blow up in your face. It always does. And Carrington is no exception to this rule. But, of course, somebody's going to get hurt, and the guys have the power this time. So they're going to be picking and choosing if there's going to be a recoupling or not, or are they going to stay with the person that they're with. And Johnny, we'll talk about him later, because I got a little bit to go in on him with this situation with Lauren, too. But he's giving advice. He needs to try to figure out what he's going to do for himself. So, again, I will dig deep and unpack that whole situation with him later. So, but, yeah, definitely. So, you guys, tell me what you think about this couple. This week on this episode, I'm giving Carrington and Kirsten about a 4. And it's not basically because of her, because it seems like she's truly interested. But Carrington, yeah, he has a whole nother agenda going on. Okay, so our next couple we're going to talk about, and this whole thing is crazy in itself too. So Justine and Trey has a sit down, and Trey is putting his feelings out, because she's like, hey, did you love my speech at the coupling ceremony last night? And he was like, oh my God, it made me so happy. It was the highlight of my night. It just, man, it turned everything around and make me feel closer to you. And, the thing is, she turns around and say, I need to be honest, but I think this is moving a little bit too slow. And, it's just not a spark there. And I want you to go ahead and take advantage of getting to know Lauren. And my mouth was opening to the floor. I'm like, wait. You just gonna hand this dude over to... He just told you how he feels. And then you say, I don't know about you, dude. Yeah, go ahead and talk to old girl. Yeah, that whole thing. I was like, what? And so, he was feeling some kind of way. I mean, even though she thought that it didn't really mean anything by what she said, it definitely meant a lot to him, And so, he's feeling some kind of way. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm finna go get in the pool. I'll holler at you later. Oh, you want me to go get in the pool with you? I don't think you want to get your hair wet. I think that was a dig. You guys tell me what you think about what he said about her hair in that pool. I don't know about, but that's just my take. I didn't take too kind of that comment. So Trey had a sit-down conversation with Lauren as well. Of course, because of everything that had happened with them two, and I ain't feeling it. It's just not going the way that I expected this to go. So, and him sitting with the guys, he was like, I'm not going to disrespect her. It's going to be all right. But yeah, okay. We'll see about that. So, this whole thing with Trey and Justine, my ranking this week is even lower at a 2, because basically she just handed the dude off. I mean, she was really on pins and needles wanting to be with him, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, go be with Lauren. You moving too slow. I need some spark. And honestly, he was like, well, I'm moving at your speed. And I was wondering, as you probably heard from my previous episodes, why he hasn't kissed this girl. I don't understand that. So obviously it's just not clicking. I had high hopes for these two, but he feeling some kind of way. Now I'm feeling some kind of way, and I'm like, Justine, really? Do you want to go home? Because you have no other interest with anybody else there. And if Trey does decide to not pick you, I mean, even though he said at first, oh no, well, out of respect to Justine, I'm not going to pursue her. But you didn't pretty much open up the door and gave him the keys to her kingdom by saying, hey, go talk to her. So, I'm not feeling that whole thing. Unfortunately, Justine, I think you made a bad move, because now it has Trey feeling some kind of way. And I think you just sealed your fate with, you sticking around or not. So Trey is looking like, okay, since she kicked me to the curb, or it seemed that she did, I'm going to go and have a sit down with Lauren. And, basically she looking on, and I'm like, okay, you might as well look on, because you handed him over. But he had some questions for her, like, what is something I don't know about you? And Lauren said, I was born dead. Born dead?
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah, she said she was born dead because of an umbilical cord that was wrapped around her neck. So I thought that was pretty interesting, because that definitely was a shocking statement. But when she explained it, I get, the connection of it. So, but, he was talking about the fact that, she has nice eyes, and she likes her neck. And he said, if she shows interest, it's going to be hard to stay with Justine, because at the end of the day, I want to be happy. So hey, originally, Trey was going to try to make things work with Justine, but Justine wasn't feeling the spark. So and then told her it'd be different if she said, I'm not feeling the spark, but it just didn't work out that way. So it wasn't that much content with Moira and Calvin this week. Calvin was having some conversation with her, and Calvin was saying that how he appreciates how open she is, and and if you notice her, she listens a lot, but her facial expressions, and I said this in our last episode, her facial expressions is priceless. You can definitely see what she's thinking about, how she feels with her facial expressions. But she did say that this time she's going to be more reserved, because of how the previous situation with James kind of blew up in her face from moving too fast. And pretty much Calvin is like, he want to do the right thing. It's good that they see eye to eye, and they're going to take things day by day. And he was joking around calling her whether she was a mass sleeper, but I thought that was cute. So we didn't also have a lot on this couple, Caleb and Rachel. I mean, they were excited about being coupled up. And, and they're going to be fine as long as they continue to be open. And, they want to let their guard down a little bit, as Caleb had said, and want to have some fun with Rachel and see where it goes. So my rating on this couple, I still don't see a spark there yet. So I'm going to give them about a 5. So, we'll see where that go. All right, so let's talk about one of our first biggest subjects of the night, and that's Cely and Johnny. So, I mean, Cely seems pretty confident. She didn't have the emotional breakdowns. I mean, she really feels 110% solid with Johnny. But Lauren's on the scene. His eyes says it all, okay? And honestly, I mean, he's another one of those guys tonight that said one thing to his girl and said another totally different thing to Lauren and his guys. And I mean, now I'm giving him the side eye. Cely and Johnny has been high on my radar. Oh my God, since the beginning of when the season started last week. And I mean, I've been giving them 10s. I think maybe one day I gave them a 9 when they were early in the situation. But now with Lauren on the scene, I mean, he told Lauren pretty much that, folks came here on the second day all coupled up, but with him and Cely, he's open, or they're both open to new people and how attracted he is to her. And I'm like, no, he didn't. Because you guys comment down below. Do you remember Cely saying anything? Maybe I missed something. But did Cely say anything about she's open to seeing other folks? Even if they came up the steps. I don't remember that. I just think that he's just telling her one thing and then, is saying something totally different when it comes to this girl. I mean, listen, these guys went goo-goo over this girl. And, I mean, Cely, she got to be looking at this like, okay, I was confident, but I don't know. Because, I mean, if we saw the energy and Johnny was giving Lauren, I could imagine Cely saw it too. So for her to be so confident, and as we get further in the episode, her confidence is going to be tested. I'll just say that much. But he had a turnaround and had a sit down conversation with her and basically told her, you don't have nothing to worry about. I mean, yes, I'm attracted to her. I am sexually attracted to her, but she's not you. What I got with you is solid, not what I got with her. And I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. You just told Lauren that you were open to, if you're interested, I'm open. And now you're telling Cely, well, ain't nobody gonna replace you, pretty much, and she's all excited. Please don't give this girl false hope. Please don't give this girl false hope. I mean, because honestly, I like you guys as a couple, but your rating is coming down today, and not based on Cely, based on you, Johnny, because I mean, you giving Cely false hope. I mean, this girl thinks you all in when you telling Lauren a whole different story. And honestly, I truly don't even think you're interested in Lauren. I just think you want to sleep with her. I could be wrong because you keep using the word sexually attracted, but you have something more solid with her. So don't mess it up. All right, so now we got Mackenzie and Connor. And this is the other big couple that we had a lot to unpack with tonight. And this whole thing with Mackenzie basically telling all the girls in the dressing room is that, oh, we're official. Connor and I are official. Just to put that out there to make Lauren feels like, okay, I guess Connor is off limits. Not. So, of course the guys are discussing it with Connor. It's like, dude, you in trouble. Because I think she interested in you and I know you interested in him. And it's like, hey, what you gonna do? And so, I mean, Mackenzie is definitely being possessive in this episode. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Do you think she's going over the top with her possessiveness? Because my thing is, if he's really truly gonna be with you, all that smothering that you're doing, it doesn't make a difference. Because if he wants to be with you or not, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But your behavior makes it, unfortunately, I know you want to be with him, but girlfriend, you might have to take a step back and let him figure this out. I hate to see the two of them break up, over this girl, but it is what it is. So, the conversation between Lauren and Connor, it was definitely, he's another one, saying one thing to Mackenzie and saying something else to Lauren. And, when she said, oh, congratulations, she said, you guys are official. And then he turns around and say, well, we're not quite there yet. But I here's the stuttering. I want to tell her in a special way. And I'm like, dude. And then he gets back with Mackenzie and say, oh yeah, I had a conversation with Lauren. I told her all about us and I told her we're official, even though I wanted to say it in a special way. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. Of course, now she's got false hope because you telling two different stories. And then you go and, I mean, she's just like, do you think she's attractive? Oh, yeah, she's attractive, but, she has nothing on you, and, we're all good, and, I just wanted to, I told her, we're official. Don't worry about that. You don't have to feel intimidated. Oh, I don't feel intimidated or insecure or anything. I mean, I know you guys had a conversation and blah, blah, blah. So the guys found out that he said that, and Johnny was like, oh, if that was me, that would be a deal breaker. That would definitely be a deal breaker if my girl goes and said that I'm official and I didn't say anything. And then Connor goes back over there and says, oh yeah, I told Mackenzie everything. And he was like, I think that was either Johnny or Trey that was like, wow, I am flabbergasted. I think that was Johnny. Because they don't believe him, and honestly, with the two different of conversations, I don't believe him. So my rating is going down on this couple as well, and Caleb is like, I'm just having me about a popcorn to watch the show, because that's exactly what this is. When you got two sides telling two different stories, one to your girl, one to your boys, and one to your new love interest, it's going to blow up in your face. So Connor, be prepared, because it's about to blow up in your face. And unfortunately, Lauren is sitting back watching this implode, and I know she's got to be eating this up, because she's like, look at these girls. These girls are scrambling. I come up in here to shake it up. And of course, the show does this for the drama, so it's to be expected. And then to see how clingy she became. I mean, honestly, Lauren was like, dang, I can't get within 6 feet of this dude without Mackenzie hanging over his shoulder. And I mean, granted, he was rambling about, you don't have to put it all out there. You be yourself and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And then you get out there and you get all hugged up with Mackenzie, trying to make her feel secure. The thing is, Connor, you got to figure this out, because what's going to happen is somebody is going to get hurt, and more than likely it's going to be her. Unfortunately, we might see a little bit of that sooner than we think. Okay? So now all of the couples are sitting around and they're getting ready to have a great evening with dancing and drinking and just socializing as usual. And they made a toast to the evening, and everybody's pretty much trying to figure out what's next. I mean, Johnny, I'm shocked at you. I really am. I thought the way that you were in the Cely, it is what it is. I mean, and Cely seems to be so happy right now, But this girl, Lauren, yeah, she's sitting in the catbird seat right now. I got a text. So she gets a text where there is a statement that America has chosen her first date to be with Connor. And oh my God, the expression on Mackenzie's face was priceless. She was definitely not happy about that. And then after that, it just spiraled out of control because at this point, she's like, this is not a game. We're in a relationship. I mean, she basically had a meltdown, and of course, Lauren is like, oh, it's just a date. It's just a date. And of course, Mackenzie take off. Lauren is like, she's feeling it because she's like, hey, I get to date Connor. I didn't even have to ask. America said that. And here's the interesting thing is that, Mackenzie took this personally. Does America hurt? They don't like me? I don't understand. Why did they vote for my guy? I've been in a relationship. Now, granted, it's only been 7 days and he's still in a relationship. Okay, you can call it a coupling. However, she was saying America hates her. How could they do this to her? And of course, here comes Lauren. Do you think it was, you guys comment down below, you think it was appropriate for her to come up there? Maybe, just to reassure her. But dude, you going on a date with her dude. So, I mean, it wasn't going to help. And then the thing is, even though he's trying to calm her down, oh, I'm just going on a date. That's all. I'm just going to get to know her. And, Lauren's like, I'm just going to get to know him. And, she kind of walks off and, he's still trying to console her and whatnot. And he tells Lauren, oh, it's all good. Let's go. Just like that. And just take off. Oh, yeah, it's all right. It's okay. Let's go. I'm like, wow. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what this is going to look like before season's end on who's going to be with who. And he just ran off with Lauren and left her up there by herself. So let me ask you guys, do you think that was a good move on his part? Because, she was standing there by herself crying crying the blues about what just happened, that her dude is out on a date with somebody else. So this couple, my rating has gone down as well, just on the behavior of these guys tonight. So then Lauren gets a second text saying that she must choose 2 other boys that she wanted to date for the night. And the facial expression on Johnny licking his lips, I was like, oh yeah, Cely needs to be so done with him because he licking his lips like he was about to look at a big juicy steak. So, of course, she chose Johnny. And her second choice was Carrington, which to Kirsten's demise, she's not going to be happy. So I want to thank you guys for watching the show. We'll see what happened next episode. And here's the shout out for today for Athinka Gioka. Thank you for showing the episode for us in a different country. You are so welcome. And until next time, see you soon.